Welcome back, guys, to this old vlog, this old rainy vlog. It is December 27th. Haven't been on here in a few days. Honestly, I just been in the dumps. As far as COVID goes, I'm actually feeling a little more alive today. I've got a little bit more energy. I've done a few more things today than I've done in the last 2 weeks. I cleaned out a closet. Very exhilarating. My husband set up his tool closet a little bit and able to do that. My legs felt like they weighed 1,000 pounds, but I'm getting there. The only thing is my ear's still bothering me, but I'm praying that a few more days and that'll let up, hoping and praying. So my right ear popped and I could hear yesterday, and I'm just waiting on this one. Lord will take care of it. It'll happen. I'm down here at the greenhouse and it is about 4 o'clock. I've not been down here yet, so I've got to water, and that's about it for today. Tomorrow, I may end up coming down here and repotting because I actually feel good enough to do it. It's 2 days past Christmas, and I'm honestly glad to say it's over. It's over. I've never said that before, but I'm glad it's over. I don't know if y'all can see, but the chickens are down there dust bathing. I like watching them do that. They're really working up the garden really good. We extended that fence all the way around the garden, so they're putting all kinds of good nutrients in there. And it should be really nice when we till it this spring. My husband's going to cook dinner tonight. He's going to make some quesadillas, so I kind of look forward to that. I've had no appetite in the last week, but the quesadillas sound kind of good, and I don't have to make them. That's even better. He made tea yesterday, and I'll let him tell you about his tea experience. It kind of had an explosion all over the stove. So hopefully the quesadillas will be a little better than the tea situation. My husband's been collecting eggs, leaving them down here.
It's like one of those sand crabs at the beach.
Is it?
Well, no.
Quesadilla maker. We've had it for a long time. It's made a lot of quesadillas.
Taking some shells. Gotta go with mild cheddar.
Why?
That's what I like.
No, I like sharp better. I do.
You're not making it. So it's just me.
But I'm eating it.
And I eat what you make.
You love what I make.
Yes, I do. Slapping that sucker onto there. And I'm putting her under there. This is next level cooking right here. This is Bobby Flay, Emerald, his name.
That's a lot of chicken.
Big tortilla. How much cheese would you like?
Okay, go.
And then, this is the important part. That's it. That's all
That's it.
Hey, that's a sign right there. Installed.
It's the next day. It is Saturday, I think. My days are seriously running together. But it is really gloomy today. I thought I'd do just a little repotting project down here. I need to do a few things. Alright, this is a very gnarly succulent that's been kind of hiding out on my bottom shelf over here for a while, and I've really not done a whole lot with it. It's kind of neglected it, really. It's kind of cool looking, so I'm actually not sure if I want to cut on it or not, because it just has a really interesting look. Kind of interesting. I don't know. Maybe I will leave it. I've got a bucket over here of some things that need to go into some little pots, and I thought about bringing up one of these little feeders to the porch for my birds. Getting a lot of birds now with this new feeder right here. So I've even got some up there. I know you probably can't see them from here, but I do. Got some containers, and I've got a flat right here that has a bunch of little pups that are really elongated that have been neglected for about a year now that I need to work on. And then this whole little tray right here and a gazillion more pups over here that I'm just a bad plant mom right now. I need to get them all out and start propagating. I'm gonna make a little bit of succulent soil and I'll show you guys how I do that. It's very simple. What I do is I get a container, and what I don't recommend going and buying the cactus mix from like Lowe's or something unless you just have just a really small amount that you need to mix up. But I have large amounts of plants and I'm always repotting, and I have lots of succulents. I have a huge collection. So buying those pre-mixed packs are just not economical for me at all. So what I do is we have a local nursery, and they carry big scoops of river sand, which I love this stuff. I'll show you why. It's not like a playground sand. It's just river sand, just like the bottom of a river. And it is really, really good for succulents. What I do is I take about a 50-50 mix. I take regular potting soil, and then I take this stuff right here. You wouldn't have to do 50-50. You could probably do like 60-40 or even 70-30 if you wanted to. But I do half and half, and that works up really good. And I just mix it all together, and I keep a big pan of it over here. And I put coffee filters at the bottom because sometimes the sand can drain out, and that just keeps it from doing that. And that river sand that's underneath here, it's what you call a coarse grit sand. That's what you're going to want to look for in sand. If you can't find a place that has river sand like that, you want to look for something that's coarse grit. Playground sand is not recommended. They do have some stuff. I have used builder's sand before, and it's worked pretty good in a pinch. But just look for something that's, you know, kind of rocky, and yeah, that's what I use. Now, before you mix it all up, I would advise to kind of wet it a little bit because it's super dry and it's just gonna, sand tends to be pretty dusty. I'm gonna just kind of add a little bit of moisture to it. Now, for the next part, if you have let time elapse like I have and needed to get these things potted before now, and I didn't, so they've kind of elongated, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. They're just too long. What I do with these in this case is this. I'm going to go ahead and snap it about right there. If you read directions as far as like how to do this, you probably look it up on the internet. They'll probably tell you to let this sit and callus over on the end. Now that's probably the best thing, and when you do that, you don't want to set it in bright sunlight to let a plant callus over. It's just probably a little too much for it. But I'm not going to do that just because I've raised succulents for a while, and I'm pretty confident I'm going to be okay with it. Just go ahead and dropping it in. But what I'm going to do is put a little bit of soil in here. I'm going to take the bottom leaves off. Now remember, you can propagate most parts of a succulent, almost every part. So I'm going to take these off, and you want to twist them off so you can get all the leaf. You don't want to get a broken part because they won't propagate that way. And I'm going to take these, and this is how I end up with so many plants, because I just end up keeping all parts of them and regenerating. So yeah. Since I'm not going to let this callus over, I'm not going to water this for a little while. I'm going to let it harden over for a few weeks, and then I'll probably add some water to it. Now, it'd be okay to spray the soil just very lightly, but just don't overdo it because you don't want to rot that root system. I find they look cute when they're full. You can also let them drape over the side, which can be pretty cute. Right, so I've got a little donkey's tail that I'm going to just stick in there. I've got a really big one on the other side of my greenhouse. It's a really cool plant. You just got to be careful because their leaves pop off really easily. And if you brush up against them, they will fall off. So I try to keep them in a strategic spot. I'm not going to knock them off, but they are really cool to trail out of a really pretty pot. Here's a really cool one. This is a little aloe, and I have a lot of these. I've used these for burns. They're just really good for medicinal purposes, and they propagate quite quickly. And I cut it off. It's completely calloused over. So So I've got the soil filled up, and I'm just going to kind of plop it down. It will root in. And these kind of like dappled sun, not stark sun. Now they can work their way up, but don't go from a propagation like this to stark sun. You kind of want to work your way up, but they tend to do pretty good in both. You just got to keep them well watered if they're in hot summer sun. I've actually got a really cute bowl here that I bought. It's like a little sunflower head, and I bought that at Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to fill it up with my succulent sand and just put a bunch of little starts in here. Those end up turning out little cute, they make cute little pots for things like that. I need to go over there and get some more. Here's a little rosette. And I will plop it down in there. Another rosette. Okay, that is super cute. Little one.